On February 21, 2026, a Spanish priest and canon law scholar published a post on X that sent shockwaves through the ongoing SSPX debate. Father Jaime Mercant Simó, a diocesan priest and lecturer at a major theological study center in Mallorca, Spain, laid out his position in a structured format of 23 questions and answers. His conclusion? The SSPX's planned July 1st episcopal consecrations would not constitute schism. Let's understand his argument with the fairness it deserves. Simó begins with a definition. For a perfect schism to occur, he writes, there must be a clear intention to carry out a schismatic act and to establish, through the new bishops, a hierarchical jurisdiction parallel to that of the Roman Catholic Church. In this case, neither of these conditions will be met. This is the heart of his case. Schism requires two elements, the external act and the internal intention to separate from the Church. The SSPX, he argues, lacks the second. He concedes that the consecrations involve material disobedience. Rome has said no, and they are proceeding anyway. But mortal sin, he insists, requires knowledge and deliberate consent. The intention of the SSPX leadership, of the consecrating bishops, and of the future bishops appears to be upright. No one has any objective grounds to doubt their conscience or their upright intention, which is the good of the souls entrusted to them. On the question of automatic excommunication, late sententiae, Simó acknowledges that from a purely canonical perspective, the penalty would be considered to apply, but he argues it would be null. Why? Because the formal reason for the penalty, the intention to break communion, is lacking. While the state of necessity constitutes the fundamental motive, there is no objective intention of formal schism, nor will a parallel jurisdiction be created. He extends this reasoning to Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre himself, affirming that the 1988 declaration of excommunication was null, since on the supernatural plane of the mystical body, that bishop never ceased to be in communion with the Church. Simó then addresses the three essential dimensions of ecclesial communion: doctrinal, sacramental, and hierarchical. On doctrine, the SSPX has never ceased to teach what the Church has always believed. Even regarding Vatican II, he argues, they approach certain questions with a critical spirit in areas where theological discussion is legitimate. He notes that the council was pastoral rather than dogmatic, and quotes then Cardinal Ratzinger from 1988 warning against turning the council's pastoral nature into a super dogma. On sacramental communion, the sacraments administered by the SSPX are valid and celebrated according to traditional rites long used in the Church. On hierarchical communion, he acknowledges the SSPX's canonical status is irregular, yet they continue to recognize the Pope as supreme pastor. They mention him and the local bishop in the canon of the Mass. They do not claim jurisdiction over territory or set up a rival hierarchy. Simó's most pointed criticism is reserved for what he sees as a double standard. What worries me far more is the multitude of heterodox, blasphemous, and sacrilegious individuals found everywhere, especially in Germany. I'm also troubled by the double standard that seems to exist in the way ecclesiastical authority applies penalties and censures. His proposed solution is striking. Rome should formally accept the forthcoming episcopal ordinations and recognize the spiritual fruits of the SSPX's apostolate. Now, the counterarguments deserve equal weight. Cardinal Sarah and Mueller have insisted that visible unity with the Pope is non-negotiable. Bishop Marian Eleganti has called any consecration without mandate a schismatic act. Cardinal Fernandez has warned of grave consequences for the fraternity as a whole. Canon 1382 is clear on its face. A bishop who consecrates someone as bishop without papal mandate, and likewise anyone who receives consecration from him, incurs excommunication. Simó's argument hinges on intention, but canon law traditionally looks to external acts as evidence of internal will. the Church has rarely accepted good intentions as a defense against clear disobedience. This is the heart of the debate. Does the state of necessity invoked by the SSPX justify material disobedience, or does necessity, however grave, never authorize breaking visible communion? Two views, two theologies, one church.